She spat into a plastic vial on a Tuesday morning. Not because she was curious, because her boyfriend kept asking what her real heritage was. Ana Delgado, 29, New Jersey-born, had always believed she was Mexican-American. Her parents were clear about that. Her birth certificate backed it up. But that day, as the swirling foam of saliva hit the lab tube and she sealed the envelope, something ancient and buried shifted. Like some part of her, the part that always felt out of place at family gatherings, the part that looked just a little too pale in every photo, knew. 3 weeks later, her inbox pinged at 3:07 a.m. Your DNA results are in. She didn't open it right away. Instead, she stared at the email, heart tightening. Something about it felt heavier than data and gene markers. She went to sleep. Or tried. The next day, in the silence of her apartment, cold coffee on the table, muted traffic beyond her window, she clicked the link. First, the expected, 49% Mexican, 26% Southern European, a few slivers of indigenous North America and Iberian Peninsula. But then, at the bottom of the page, under the section labeled DNA matches, her world fell sideways. Samantha Monroe, half-sister. 52% shared DNA. Parent, father. Anna blinked. Refreshed the page. Searched Samantha's name. A profile picture, blonde, blue-eyed, smiling with 2 toddlers in a backyard somewhere in Missouri. No possible way. She clicked again. Photos. Posts. Timeline. There it was, Happy Father's Day, Dad. Love you forever, Jim Monroe. Her breath caught. Jim Monroe. Anna's father was Miguel Delgado. He had died in 2016 of a heart attack in their driveway, clutching a bag of groceries and her childhood backpack full of unpaid bills. She scrolled. Clicked. Searched Jim Monroe, New Jersey. And there he was, a man she'd seen once, a long time ago, standing across the street from her elementary school. Tall. Dressed in a tan trench coat. Watching. He'd looked at her the way ghosts look at the living. Then vanished. Anna grabbed her phone. Called her mother. Hey, baby, Rosa answered, groggy. Mom? Anna's voice was tight. Do you know someone named Jim Monroe? There was silence. Then, a long, wet exhale. Oh God. Rosa sat across from her in the kitchen that night, cigarette smoke curling above them like a noose. She looked 10 years older in the fluorescent light. I was 19, Rosa said. Working as a waitress in Newark. He came in every Thursday. Alone. Ordered the same thing. Turkey club, black coffee. He always tipped big. Anna didn't speak. He was nice. Different. Wore a suit. Said he was married but separated. I was stupid. I believed it. For 3 months, we saw each other. And then? Anna's voice was cold steel. I got pregnant with you. When I told him, he offered me money to go away. Said he had a family. That it was a mistake. He never called me again. Anna stared. The buzzing of the refrigerator sounded like thunder. I never meant to lie, Rosa whispered. But what was I supposed to do? Tell you your father was a coward? That he bought silence? Miguel stepped up. He raised you as his own. He loved you, Mija. A glass shattered somewhere in Anna's chest. 3 days later, Anna was in her car, driving south. Missouri was 1,100 miles from Newark, and her hands didn't stop shaking the entire trip. Her messages to Samantha had gone unread. But that didn't stop her. She had the address. She had the truth. And she had nothing else holding her back. When she pulled into the cul-de-sac of Willow Creek Estates, she saw them. Children playing in the yard. A swing set. A Labrador barking. And on the porch, Samantha, blonde, tired, holding a mug. Her eyes met Anna's. Something flickered. Recognition? Or just confusion? Anna stepped out. Walked slowly. Her legs were barely functioning. Hi, she said, voice cracking. I think we share a father. Samantha stared. Then laughed, short and hard. Oh no, she muttered. Not again. Samantha stepped off the porch like someone walking through a dream, slow, hesitant, eyes narrowing as she took in Anna's face. The breeze tugged at the hem of her t-shirt. Somewhere inside the house, a child cried out, but Samantha didn't move. "Not again," she said once more, almost under her breath, like it wasn't the first time she'd met someone like Anna. Anna's stomach tightened. "What do you mean?" Samantha shook her head, almost smiling, but there was no humor in it. "You're not the first one to show up here." The words hit harder than any accusation. What?" Samantha turned, called over her shoulder, "Jake, watch your sister for a sec." She walked down the steps, past the barking dog, stopping just short of Anna. Up close, she looked older than her pictures, worn in the way young mothers often are, like life had been lived faster than planned. "How did you find me?" Samantha asked. "DNA test," Anna said. "Ancestry site. You came up as a half-sister. Same father." "I didn't." She paused, her throat dry. "I didn't know he had another family. Or that he was still alive." Samantha snorted. "Oh, he's alive. Very much so. Just not here." She looked away, toward the horizon, flat land, an expanse of fences and fields and rows of modest homes. It felt like a different planet from Newark. "Come inside," Samantha said finally. The house smelled like baby powder and burnt coffee. Toys littered the living room floor, plastic dinosaurs, a crushed juice box, a lone sock. On the wall, a framed wedding photo, Samantha in white, her husband tall and proud beside her. And between them, older, balding, with pale eyes and a proud grin, Jim Monroe. Anna stopped in front of the picture. Her eyes locked on the man who abandoned her before she took her first breath. He looked like someone's father. Someone's friend. Someone trustworthy. "He ever mention me?" Anna asked, voice low. Samantha didn't answer at first. She walked to the kitchen and poured 2 glasses of lukewarm water. Handed one to Anna. "He never mentioned anyone." Anna blinked. "Then how?" "He lied. A lot. About everything." Samantha leaned against the counter. The silence between them swelled. "I was 17 when he told me he had another child," she said finally. "That was 5 years ago. I just had my first baby. He sat me down like he was doing some big confession." Anna stared. "He said it was a mistake. A woman I knew in New Jersey," he said. "That you weren't supposed to exist. That he paid her off. I asked him your name. He wouldn't say. Just said you'd never find us." She laughed bitterly. "Guess he underestimated you." Anna's hands trembled around the glass. "He told you I was a mistake?" Samantha nodded. "And now you're here." The hours passed like thick oil. Samantha told her what she knew, that Jim Monroe had once worked in pharmaceuticals, that he moved states every few years, always chasing better contracts, more money. That he was charismatic, precise, impossible to read. That their mother had died in a car crash when Samantha was 9, and after that, her father got darker. He wasn't cruel, just distant, she said. Except when he drank. Then he got mean. Quite mean. The kind of mean that makes you afraid of footsteps. Anna felt the words settle into her bones. They sounded familiar. "I left home when I was 20, Samantha continued. "I met Daniel. Got married. Had kids. Dad shows up every few months, gives the kids presents, stays for dinner, acts like he's still part of this world. But he never really is. He's just passing through." Anna looked at the children's toys on the floor. "Does he know I found you?" "No." Anna's breath hitched. Then maybe it's time he did. She met him in a diner 2 towns over, where Samantha said he liked to go when he passed through. Samantha called ahead, told him a friend from Jersey wanted to meet. Nothing else. The sky was dimming when he arrived, silver SUV, clean suit, that same air of practiced confidence that made people think he was safe. Anna sat in the back booth. Watched him walk through the door like a man who owned the room. He scanned the space, eyes passing right over her, then stopping. Something flickered. A twitch at the jaw. Recognition. He walked toward her. Slow. Calm. "Anna," he said, as if tasting the word. She didn't stand. "So you do know my name?" He sat across from her. Didn't order anything. Just stared. "You found her," he said. No thanks to you. A beat passed. Then he sighed. I guess I always knew this day would come. Anna felt her heart pounding. Why didn't you ever reach out? Because I wasn't supposed to be your father, he said, voice calm, cold. You were an accident. A result of weakness. I tried to handle it the right way. You mean paying my mother to disappear? Jim didn't flinch. She took the money. Anna wanted to scream. I didn't ask to be born. You left me with questions and lies and a man who raised me like I was his own. You don't get to act like this is just some inconvenience. Jim leaned forward, hands on the table. His eyes, pale blue and devoid of warmth, fixed on hers. I made peace with it. That's all I can say. No, Anna said. That's not all. She reached into her bag. Pulled out a photo, one of her and Miguel, at her 5th birthday, paper hats and cake frosting smeared across their faces. She laid it on the table. That man, she said, voice shaking, was more of a father than you'll ever be. Jim looked down. And for the first time, something cracked. A flicker of something behind his eyes, regret, shame, something that died long ago. Anna stood. You don't owe me anything. Not anymore. But don't pretend you were a good man. Don't pretend you were ever a father. She walked out, the door's chime trailing behind her like an echo. The air outside was cool. Crisp. Cleansing. Anna didn't cry. Not yet. Back in the car, she started the engine. Samantha's house was waiting. Her other family. A piece of herself, discovered not in blood, but in the courage to find the truth, no matter how deep it was buried. She looked in the rearview mirror one last time. And drove. The headlights sliced through the Missouri dusk as Anna drove, silence hanging in the air like a second skin. No music. No radio. Just the low hum of tires against asphalt and the soft roar of everything she couldn't yet feel. Anger. Grief. Relief. It swirled inside her, thick and directionless, refusing to take form. Her phone buzzed in the passenger seat. Samantha, are you okay? Anna stared at the screen for a long moment before answering. Anna, yeah. I said what I needed to say. She tossed the phone back and let the road carry her the last 10 miles home, or whatever home meant now. When she arrived, the porch light was on, warm and golden against the dark. The kids were asleep. The neighborhood was quiet. Samantha opened the door before Anna could knock, holding a blanket and a bottle of red wine. You okay? She asked. Anna nodded. Tired. You want to talk about it? Anna shrugged. He was exactly what I thought he'd be. Maybe worse. Samantha stepped aside, letting her in. Good, she said softly. You're not the only one who needed to hear that. They sat on the couch, the wine bottle between them, silence pulsing in waves. Anna picked at the label. Samantha watched the clock. It's weird, Anna said finally. I thought I'd feel something, closure, maybe. Like once I saw his face, heard him admit it, something inside would settle. But it didn't. I still feel. Unfinished, Samantha offered. Yeah. Samantha leaned back, stretching her legs. He's a vacuum. Takes everything and leaves nothing. Anna sipped the wine. I kept waiting for him to ask about me. My life. My mom. Anything. But he didn't. Not once. Sounds about right. I don't know what to do with this. With you. With this new family. Samantha smiled faintly. We're not a project. You don't have to solve us. I just don't want to be a burden. You're not. You're just new. Anna looked at her. And what if I want to stay? Samantha raised an eyebrow. Stay tonight or stay longer? Anna didn't answer. Not right away. She looked around, the lived-in mess, the framed drawings on the fridge, the soft creak of a home that breathed with life. It wasn't hers, but something about it felt more real than anything she'd known in months. I don't know yet, she said. But it feels better than where I came from. That night, sleep came hard. Anna lay on the guest bed, a room that smelled like lavender and clean laundry, and stared at the ceiling. The house was quiet except for the soft thud of footsteps, a child's dream wander, the hushed murmur of Samantha settling them back to sleep. It was domestic, intimate, alive. She thought of her mother, of the years Rosa had carried the weight alone, of the way she looked at Anna sometimes like she was both a miracle and a wound. She picked up her phone and typed a message. Anna, I met him. He didn't apologize. But I said what needed to be said. Thank you for everything you did, Mom. You didn't deserve that pain. She hit send, then placed the phone down beside her. Sleep came in pieces. In fragments of memory and heat and the silent roar of bloodlines that never met but still bled the same. In the morning, the house was buzzing. Cereal bowls clinked in the kitchen. A toddler wailed somewhere down the hall. Samantha stood in the doorway, hair tied in a lazy knot, a mug in one hand, toast in the other. You want pancakes or trauma bonding? She joked. Anna blinked, then laughed, for the first time in days. Both, she said. They sat at the table while the kids watched cartoons. Samantha poured syrup. Anna poured her heart. She told her about growing up in Newark, the tight corners of a life built from second chances, the kind of silence that grows between a mother and daughter when too many truths go unsaid. She told her about Rosa working double shifts at St. Luke's, about Miguel, kind, quiet, always watching with tired eyes and a heart he never claimed as fully his. I think he knew, Anna said. Not officially. But something in him must have sensed I wasn't his. And he stayed anyway. Every day. Samantha's eyes glistened. That's a real father. Yeah, Anna whispered. He was. By noon, they were sitting on the back porch watching the kids play. Anna felt the sun on her face and let herself relax into it, for the first time in weeks. Maybe years. I don't know what happens now, she said. You don't need to, Samantha replied. You just keep showing up. Anna nodded. Can I come back? Not today. But sometime soon. Samantha reached out, squeezed her hand. Your family. You don't have to ask. The following week, Anna returned to Newark. The streets felt smaller now. Tighter. As if they hadn't changed, but she had. She stood outside her childhood apartment, the bricks chipped and weathered, and thought of the nights Rosa would fall asleep on the couch, half listening for the sound of her teenage daughter coming home. She remembered Miguel at the kitchen table, turning the pages of old books like they held the secrets to surviving on love alone. She climbed the stairs slowly. Her key still worked. Inside, Rosa was folding laundry, the TV low, the air filled with the familiar scent of fabric softener and home. She looked up when Anna entered, startled at first, then softening. You came back, Rosa said. I needed to, Anna replied. I saw him. I confronted him. Rosa stopped folding. And? He was everything you said. Everything you didn't say. Rosa sat down on the edge of the couch. Her hands, once so strong, now trembled as they rested in her lap. I was so afraid you'd go to him and never come back. I did go, Anna said, walking toward her. And I realized, I've been looking for a father who never wanted me, when the man who raised me never stopped showing up. She reached into her purse and pulled out a small wooden box. Inside was a gold chain, Miguel's, worn thin over the years, the crucifix dull from decades of sweat and prayer. She placed it on the table between them. I want to have him buried properly. With his name. As my father. Rosa's lip trembled. Her hand went to her mouth. He would have liked that. They sat together in silence for a while, two women shaped by loss and love and the long shadow of betrayal. Later that week, Anna organized the service. Small. Simple. Just family. She wrote the obituary herself. Miguel Delgado, beloved husband and father, quiet protector, man of immense heart. No mention of Jim Monroe. At the graveside, she read a letter aloud. You weren't the man who made me, but you made me who I am. You chose me, every day, even when you didn't have to. That's what real fathers do. That's what love is. I know now that blood doesn't bind us. Actions do. I forgive the silence, the secrets. And I carry your name with pride. After the service, Anna returned to Missouri. She brought Rosa with her. The house was fuller this time. Samantha had cleared out the spare bedroom. The kids greeted Anna like an old friend. She cooked dinner that night, Rosa's recipe for enchiladas, the one Miguel always asked for on his birthday. The smell filled the house, warm and familiar. At the table, laughter rose between bites. The children argued over juice. Rosa told stories about Miguel's terrible dancing. Samantha played an old cassette of 90s Spanish ballads they found in a box marked Dad's junk. And then, quietly, like something slipping into place, Anna felt it. Belonging. She looked around the room, at the people who weren't supposed to be hers, but somehow were. Not by blood. Not by history. But by truth and choice, and something bigger than either of them had planned. Outside, a storm rolled across the horizon. But inside, the lights were warm. And Anna, for the first time in her life, wasn't looking for anything else.